I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and just for the record, that's like really diagnosed, not just I like things in a certain spot. Hi, this is Mike Veny, and I'm here in Michigo Studios in New York City. I had to record a drum track here this morning for a project. And I decided before I started recording to just warm up and play along to some of my favorite songs. This studio has so much meaning for me. I used to teach drum lessons out of here. I've rehearsed with bands here. I think in this exact room, it's the last time I was here in this room rehearsing. I just remember it when I came in. It's really special to be here. And one of the reasons I was warming up is because my drum teacher, Jory Mondlak, really gave me a valuable lesson, that one of many lessons that just will stay with me forever. And he would tell me that all music is a conversation. You're listening as a drummer or other musician, you're listening to the other musicians and participating in the conversation. That's really it. Or you're just playing by yourself and listening to the conversation going on inside of you. So I did that. So you can actually hear me on drums. I'm sitting there just playing along to some songs. I'm not actually going to say what the songs were, because they were certain songs that are just very personal to me for some personal reasons, and I just needed to play them. And so I sat in there just kind of doing my thing, and sometimes I was playing the actual pattern in the song, and other times I was just being a part of the conversation, letting myself go naturally with that. The reason this is so important to me too is not just as a musician, but for my mental health. I believe that mental health is also about conversations in your head. And I have a lot of those. It's been okay. My mental health's been okay, but certain days are tougher than others, and sometimes there's work stress, and sometimes it's my own depression, anxiety. I know this morning I was actually obsessing. I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and just for the record, that's like really diagnosed, not just I like things in a certain spot. And part of my obsessing is I'll think about something and I just can't stop, like a certain thought, a candy bar or something, or a scenario that happened or I anticipate, and it gets so distracting. I can't focus, And so I was having some of that going on this morning, and it was weird because it was at the end of meditation, something started to come up. And so I was excited to be here in the studio because, well, I love playing drums. The point of all of this was that it allowed me to get in touch with a different kind of conversation other than the one just in my head. And now that I'm done playing, I feel better. I feel grounded, and the obsessing is still going on, but it's not at the level that it was when I started the session today. So this is why it's important to have tools that you can use. Again, it's still distracting. It's still there, but it's not taking over. I've sort of smoothed out the sidewalk a little bit. So one thing I want to encourage you to think about is the importance of finding an activity that allows you to get in touch with conversations. And typically that's an art form. You don't have to be good at the art form. You know, we are all artists. We can all do all different types of art. But we have this thing we develop called an ego, where we think about how we look. When I'm behind those drums, I mean, yes, I was filming. At the same time, I was also in my own head, going to a place that was very deep with the conversation I was having with the song that I was listening to. So it's important to have a tool that you can use like art. And again, it doesn't have to be the most complicated thing in the world. You know, you can get a coloring book, you can take a painting class, you can get a drum, you can just tap rhythms on your desk and play along to music that you like listening to. It doesn't have to be right. It doesn't matter. It's about getting in touch with the conversation. And also, you're going to learn to appreciate art more when you think of it from that perspective of conversation. Even now when I walk around New York City, and I love walking around the city, by the way, because it never gets old, and there's art everywhere, or there are things to look at everywhere. So just the conversations you can have with yourself. You can spend days in this city without talking to anybody and still have conversations in your own head that are very interesting because you see a lot of stuff. So it's important to do that. Have conversations, think about conversations, and remember that both mental health and art are all about conversations. If you like this video, please click that like button. If you haven't done so, please leave a comment. Let me know who you are and what you thought of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.